Let's predict who we think might be the visiting team. The team has to go to Philadelphia.
Yeah, look, they can only play one of 8 opponents. Here the 8 opponents are, so you got to pick one from the list. And I'm going to go to 2 games that were awesome last season. One of them a blowout in LA, and the other one a divisional round game that came down to the final pass.
Man, who do you think should be the Eagles' opening championship defense opponent for the Eagles in 2025 to start the season off? There's some worthy candidates, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the fat, from the list. The Las Vegas Raiders, I want to say the Los Angeles, they got to get out of there because they're just not on that level. They don't have anything really to show for it. A marquee quarterback, offense that they can, stamp their, pound the table for, that is stand out. The defense or offense, neither was really, marquee last year. And they just came off of firing Antonio Pierce and hiring a new head coach, Pete Carroll. So while he may have the gusto and the pedigree, having that ring, he won in Seattle and went to another one. Just not going to cut it. Also, the New York Giants, they're in rebuild mode. They don't even know who their quarterback is going to be, their general. So, you count them out. They might have, some burgeoning talent on the offensive side of the football. And Tyrone Tracy, that running back, successfully, you could say projection-wise, replaced Saquon, although he's not anything near the caliber, the player that he was, and then Malik Neighbors. But they're just lackluster, and they made the horrible decision to let go of Saquon, which, hey, man, Giants, thank you. I appreciate your generosity, especially to a divisional opponent. But they're not it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out the Dallas Cowboys, man. Coming off such a down season, what do they have to offer besides bitterness? They haven't been past, the divisional round since 1996. I mean, it's 30 years. It'll be 30 years in at the end of the next season. I mean, it's the run that they're on of ineptitude that another team in our division just ended. It's struggle love. It's struggle love. If you don't know what the definition of that is, go to the Urban Dictionary. But yeah, to surmise it in one word, just pitiful. Why should you have to go through that as a Dallas Cowboys fan? There are other better franchises out here that cater to their fans and actually care about winning. Don't put proceeds over everything. But to get to I'd say that the teams that are on the list, I'll start with the least likely. That being the Denver Broncos. Why would I put them here? They might be an upstart team in 2025. And yeah, Pat Mahomes will have a lot to say about that in the AFC West, because it goes through them. That being said, they do have a quarterback. Juxtaposed to the teams I just mentioned. And Bo Nix, they found a guy, drafted him, a receiver, Troy Franklin from Oregon. And lots of teams these days pair up their marquee receivers with, their college receivers, quarterbacks with their college receivers. And it seems, to have taken some at least, he was their explosive player down the stretch. And their defense is just nasty. Pat, Surtain, PS2, I forget the D lineman that they have that, he was top 5 in sacks. And they have some players over there that made that defensive unit stand out. I forget the new coach, I forget his name, where he came from. But, he was, I think, A.G. Afuro. I think that might be his name, but talented guy, smart mind. But I don't really think they have the pizzazz, because they could easily just get blown out the water. But that would be someone that they consider if they, depending on how their offseason goes. The next least likely I would put on that list, on the bottom of the totem pole is the Chicago Bears. People want to crown them coming into this season, because they, put some pieces around the incoming quarterback, Caleb Williams, and the defense. They also, added some guys. I remember Montez Sweat last not season, mid-season and trade from the Commanders. We'll get to in a second. But, other than that, like, they had a lot of promise, but they spectacularly fell on their faces. And, they fired the head coach, Matt Eberflus, who's a defensive coach. And, we'll see how they rebound. But, you still have Keenan Allen. You still have the bevy of running backs that they have in their stable, Swift included. But, Rome Odunze as well as DJ Williams, that makes a solid trio of receivers there. But we'll see if the progression of Williams can take another step. If they can get him a few more pieces up front to protect him, they might have something there. But still, he's got a lot of maturing to do. And, players notoriously take their, biggest leap in between their first and second seasons. And we'll see how he fares. But much to be proven. So, it's similar to Denver. They can be an upstart team, but it depends a lot on how things play out for them going into training camp and seeing the maturity that their quarterback, their leader, displays. Now, to get to the top three, I'm gonna say the Los Angeles Rams because we beat their ass, and revenge factor. It was the revenge playoffs. We played the Packers twice. We played the Rams twice. And then we played the Washington Commanders 3 times. And then it was a rematch of the Chiefs. So we got, our get back on all those teams. The Commanders who beat us. Not really the Rams, but, we were able to beat them twice. But beating a team twice in one season is hard enough. We ran the gauntlet and then some, So, that just speaks to this team, the mental fortitude it took to do that. But the Rams, man, they played us tough. And their D-line is young and upcoming. Braden Fisk in the interior, gave us, some problems, and Jared Verse, he did, do some numbers on us, that second game in the snow, but inclement weather, so I want to see us play that on a neutral playing field and see how, we were able to fare against them. But they always, still have Matt Stafford. Cooper Kupp is probably on his way out the door, but Puka Nacua has shown himself to be a force, and the tight end is not half bad, and some depth pieces, ancillary pieces with Jefferson, and I forget their speedy wide receiver. He was a threat, although diminutive. But defense be interesting to see how they grow, continue to grow, and they're just young. They're young, but athletic, but they're small. So I like our offensive line to do the same to them, but a difference a year makes, because those guys will be sophomores and have gained so much knowledge and the maturity if they stay on track. But they're a dangerous team, a dangerous opponent, but I still like our chances. Now, number 2. Some people might put it at number 1, that's to be determined. I still have to say, it doesn't show me more than, flash in the pan. I put the Washington Commanders here. They're just the bad blood because Frankie Louisville knocked out Jalen Hurts in the second game, and, there was bad blood going into the third game. We just stomped their asses, stomped a mud hole in their ass, to quote Austin 3:16. But, man, the get back, they're going to want to get back. Cause, everybody's going to give us the best shot, the defending Super Bowl champions coming into a title defense. But, there's something personal because that boy Jaden Daniels, I believe he's going to improve, get better, and continue to grind. And you could easily say that he was the only one, him and maybe Terry McLaurin, the only ones fighting on that offense, given, 100%. He had a lot of, things working against him, but they have $78 million in cap space, and all the moves that they'll be able to make and add people. And it's probably going to be somewhat of a destination. You get paid and you give a chance at winning with a young quarterback. But I'm interested to see how teams adjust to him. And, if it's the first game, like all these teams, but especially Jaden Daniels, Vic Fangio will have a game plan in place to game plan for him. So likewise on the other side with Jalen Hurts, but that rivalry, might be just getting started, and I'm loving it. I want to face strong opponents so that we're not weak, when we need to be, we need to show mental fortitude to get through, to dig deep, to beat up an opponent. And if they can help in that training, appreciate you. But now, I would say, maybe the most, maybe ballyhooed matchup would be the Detroit Lions, because their season didn't go as planned. They had a lot of injuries, almost feel like a record number on defense. Aiden Hutchinson was out. Their D tackle was out. They lost linebackers, corners for the year for long stretches, and it just wasn't ideal. And that sucks, because, you feel like it's your year and then have those things happen. On a balance of probabilities, that doesn't happen most years, it happens most times, than not. It would not happen, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbled, and, they got to feel some type of way about this season and like that, especially to the previous opponent we just mentioned in the Washington Commanders. But, to top that, they're losing. They lost their offensive coordinator, who went on to become the head coach of the Bears. That's who it was. Who's gonna make them nice. I forgot about that. But also, the D coordinator to the Jets and the replacements. How are they gonna fare? Because this was us last year. I don't know, how well they will bounce back. But they have the offensive pieces. They have the two running backs, Sonic and Knuckles. They have Jared Goff, who's a decent quarterback. Top 15 at the very least. Most people believe him to be maybe top 10 or maybe top 12. The offensive line, is still pretty strong. People say it's number 2. I could put him number 2 behind the Eagles' own. And their defense, bringing back those pieces and then adding the guys. Terry Arnold has another year seasoning. Their safety duo was, one of the best in the league. But, with them returning that much talent on both sides of the ball, they'll be a competitor for sure. They'll have something to say about the NFC and how things play out. But I really would like to see the Detroit Lions or to watch the Commanders, but the league may not want to burn one of those games early. So I would say it might be the Los Angeles Rams, the underdog, but, and contending champion, depending on, I think, how their offseason goes. If it trends up this way, I probably would say it would be them, because that way the league can have it both ways. Either have their cake and eat it too, not burning a good game, a great game, potentially great game early, but one that could be exciting because of the way things played out in the previous 2 matchups the previous year. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here because, hey, the truth of the matter is that you didn't even make it this far because you're not even watching, no. But it's all good because I love making these videos and I love talking about the freaking, stinking, defending Super Bowl champion. I can say that now. Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll chunk deuces as always at this point. But like I said, as always, I'm flipping my lines. As always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, go championship birds, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.